I received this item through UPS, left on my front porch. Actually, they attempted to fulfill my wishes and leave it at my back door. However, I forgot to leave the gate open for them. So the Amazon carrier was nice enough to lean it up against my fence. This is the Eheim 300 watt submersible aquarium heater. I already have two of these, one in my 75 gallon tank and one in the 120 gallon tank. 300 watt will heat up to, it says US gallon aquarium size, 159 to 264. Well, it certainly works for 120 or smaller. A couple of things I wanted to point out about this heater. Number one, these suction cups and the bracket work pretty good. However, it's supposed to be mounted up at this end, and since I like to keep my heaters horizontal for maximum effectiveness, it becomes necessary to put some more suction cups down here to balance it. Otherwise, it's going to droop and wind up on the substrate. You don't want this glass to touch anything, or as little as possible anyway. So just to have a plastic brace over here works out well for me. The other thing is, adjusting the heater is a little bit confusing. You can change what the heater reads by moving this red knob, but I find it's really just best to ignore it. Put the heater in the tank, wait 15 minutes, plug it in, and then turn it down until it turns off. Come back and check it in 15-20 minutes. It'll probably be on again. Turn it off again, and eventually you'll get it to come on just at the temperature where you initially had the tank. So as long as your tank is already at the right temperature, that method should work well for you. Here you can see the Eheim 300 in my 75 gallon hidden behind the driftwood ornaments. You can see that the heater is propped off the substrate with a plastic brace on suction cups. Here's the Eheim 300 in my 120 gallon tank behind the driftwood. Have a couple of suction cups there, two different braces, but they keep it nice and horizontal. Though the heater is around 21 inches long, I've managed to hide it reasonably well in the 75 gallon tank. If you get up close to the tank and look at the rear glass, you can see the heater reflected and just see part of the heater back there between the driftwood ornaments. I was able to hide the Eheim 300 pretty well in the 120 gallon tank behind these large driftwood ornaments. With some of them have Java moss attached. Those of you who have been watching my channel will note that there is another large piece of driftwood in the center with Java moss attached. That's the one that came out of the 10-gallon shrimp tank that was quite heavily infested with blackbeard algae. But if you look closely, you can see that the true Siamese algae eaters in this tank have rid the ornament of the blackbeard algae. Now, unlike goldfish, the true Siamese algae eaters don't eat the Java moss. So it's doing well on whatever nutrients it gets from detritus in the substrate. And the shrimp, which I accidentally introduced into this tank, really love it.